The city of Bangor is marking a somber moment of its history today. On this date, 114 years ago, half of Bangor's downtown and a significant residential neighborhood were in ruins from what became known as the city's Great Fire of 1911.
It was a traumatic event, of course, and helped to shape the city we know today. 207's Don Kerrigan is here now, and he decided to look into that part of the city's past and how people in Bangor staged a remarkable comeback.
They did indeed. Rob, you and I both lived in Bangor for a while. I lived there for quite a while. And so we knew how that the 1911 fire was a big part of the city's history. But until I walked around the downtown with the curator of the Bangor Historical Society, I didn't fully appreciate the scope of the fire and how much it took away. Cities are shaped by people and by nature, and sometimes by events we can't control. Downtown Bangor has seen all of it. In the 1960s, it was man-made, urban renewal that scraped away large pieces of the downtown and the city's past. But on April 30th, 1911, it was fire. May 1st, May 2nd of 1911.
Yep.
This is a wasteland.
Yes.
Matt Bishop of the Bangor Historical Society gives tours of the path taken by the 1911 Great Fire and tells how it changed the city.
But we see Bangor Savings Bank right here.
Right here.
That's where that next level of embers would hit that building, catch that building on fire.
And at the time that was?
The bank on the first floor, the Historical Society, and the libraries on the upper floors.
All in the building that was there?
All in that building.
Wow.
And then it would kind of come across the street and then continue to go up that way.
So the building that was here burned?
Would be lost. Yep. Everything on this block here.
Down by the river, there is a marker showing where the fire began. Back then, this part of downtown was full of wooden warehouses, docks, and other buildings. Do we know for sure how this started?
No. We know it started in the hay shed. What started it, it's anybody's guess. I mean, a lot of the thoughts are that it was a lantern fire. There's urban legends that people were smoking, and then just it was an extremely dry spring.
He says Bangor had a fire hydrant system back then and a robust fire department. But wind carried burning embers up across the Kenduskeag stream and into more buildings. Bangor was a pretty bustling place at that point in time, wasn't it?
Not quite as busy as when we were that lumber capital of the world, but I mean, we still were a bustling hub.
And the eastern side of the downtown began to burn.
We are extremely fortunate that there was only 2 loss of life that day.
These photos show a near moonscape of destruction, like cities bombed in wartime. This is a huge chunk of downtown Bangor, plus some residential areas that got destroyed.
I mean, all told, we would burn about 100 businesses, 260 some homes, 6 churches. The first consecrated synagogue, not just in Bangor, but all of Maine, was consecrated on Center Street. We would lose our post office, customs house.
Some of Bangor's most elegant old buildings were lost. The huge stone post office and customs house that stood in what is now a park. Can you show us where Norumbega Hall was? Yep. And just beyond it, the equally huge Norumbega Hall. The civic center of its day?
Of the Bangor Auditorium of its day.
An important commercial and civic building, but it was built of wood and was devoured by the flames. These buildings burned?
All burnt.
Over here.
Yep. You can see, for Kirstein Block, you can see the 1911 cornerstone.
Just outside the downtown, streets of houses burned as well, including some of Bangor's old mansions on Broadway. Firefighters were finally able to stop the spread the next day. About half of downtown Bangor did not burn. This is West Market Square. These buildings built in the 1800s. The fire stopped just across the street. Much of the downtown area may have looked more like this before the 1911 fire.
You see like the buildings here, like you have...
Matt Bishop says rebuilding began quickly and went remarkably fast. Rebuilding with steel frames and brick, not wood, at least in the downtown. Much of the Bangor we know today is this part that was rebuilt after the fire.
For how long did this fire leave emotional scars on the city?
Some people would say still to today, just for the scars of losing the collections of the library and the historical society, losing that architecture that we would have. But I mean, we would rebuild very quickly. The mayor at the time, Charles Mullins, was kind of steadfast in his rebuilding of Bangor. One of the quotes he said was, Bangor will come back.
Houses were rebuilt on residential streets. Like the downtown area, many of them are all the same age. And over half a century later, downtown Bangor would see more loss, especially the huge old city hall and the elegant Union Station, both taken by urban renewal. But the city has always bounced back. Matt Bishop says there's a lesson in that.
The fabric of our citizens, I mean, is always on its best display when we're at our worst. And learning from those, seeing how we rebuilt, how we band together is always great to reflect on.
A lesson worth learning on the anniversary of this city's biggest challenge.
And there's so many interesting aspects to this story, Rob and Sam, among them that they were largely rebuilt in 3 to 4 years. I mean, it's incredible to think of that. There must have been an army of bricklayers and other people coming in to make that happen. And the library that was destroyed, well, I was told 70,000 volumes, 3,000 were saved because those were out in circulation at the time in houses that did not burn.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and Bangor's library rebuilt to become one of the best in the state again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Don.
Okay.